Welcome to Witch Yes, a podcast for casual conjurings, witches in training, and happy birthday to you.
Cha-cha-cha.
Meow, meow, meow.
We're recording this on July 31st, and it is Artemis's 11th birthday. The double digits. I'm Alicia Herder, but I thought she was 10, going to turn 10. But really, I just don't know how to add.
Oh,
I just didn't know
Terra
how to
Keck,
do addition.
and I did know that this was going to be her 11th birthday. But, you don't really... I've learned that you don't really correct people on things that don't matter.
Oh, thank you for not correcting me. Is that what you're saying?
No, I thought we were also doing kind of like a perpetually turning 29 scenario.
I just think, like, as your mother, you should probably know how old your child is turning, even if they're 29 forever.
You're the dad. What's her favorite subject in school? What's her best friend's name?
Me. I'm her best friend. I know. I love her. 11.
She may be 11 in sun years, but much like all of this, like, indefinite longevity research, she is biologically, 6?
The doctor said she looked no older than 6.
Insane.
So I was like, okay, if the vet says that, the vet's right. He was like, she is beautiful. And I was like, she is beautiful. I raised her. She's a nice young woman. And so we ate pizza today for her. And I haven't had pizza like all year. And I probably will not have it again for the rest of the year. I feel full.
Yes, yes.
And speaking of feeling full, on today's episode, this one's for the ladies.
Hey! I mean, yay! Those are ladies.
The ladies of the lake. Which I love. We love a good lake.
I do love a lake.
I love a lake. Except the film Lake Placid, where it had an alligator in it. That was actually genuinely terrifying to me as a kid.
Oh my God, I did not watch that. What is that about? What Judy Blume fucking...
It's like Jaws, but with an alligator. So you think you're on this beautiful, idyllic, like lakeside vacation, and then an alligator starts to like kill everyone in the town who goes in the water. It's awful. And it made me so scared of lakes, and lakes are a safe space for the most part. I mean, I don't live in Florida, but it was supposed to be like upstate New York, like Lake Placid, and people kept dying. And then we would go as a family to Long Lake, which is really, really close to Lake Placid. So every time I'm in the lake, I'm like,
I don't know what's down there.
No, and you can't see. And I'm just in my little inflatable life vest being like, please don't eat me, alligator.
Making deals with God.
Just praying, please. Like every time I go into the ocean and I'm like, please don't let a shark eat me or a jellyfish sting me. I can't deal with this.
She gets into the shower. She's like, please don't let there be a centipede that crawls out of the drain.
Just constantly making deals with God. Like, please let me have a nice, safe, comfortable life.
I used to make a deal with God. I would be like, I will be a good girl when I sit down on this toilet. Please don't let there be a rat that crawls out of the drain.
That's a real New York City fear.
This is when I was little.
Oh my gosh.
This is, I don't think I had ever witnessed it. I don't know how, but for some reason, like at some point around 6 or 7, I like had this fear that a rat would come through and bite me. And sometimes, let's get a little vulnerable on the pod. I had a ritual, an OCD ritual, where I would speak to the creature that lived in the vent in my parents' bathroom.
In your mind?
in my mind.
Okay.
There was a creature that lived in the vent that like oversaw like all my bathroom activities.
Yeah.
And then that creature became Jesse and James from Pokemon.
Oh.
And so that I would make a deal with Jesse and James from Pokemon. Like, please, I'm so good. Don't let a rat crawl out of the toilet and bite my butt.
I feel like everyone must have that fear. Mine was more of a snake being in the toilet.
Really?
Because I was like, oh, it could go through the plumbing very easily.
Mm-hmm.
And could just like, and snakes, some of them are in water, could just be in the plumbing water.
Yeah.
A rat, though, I mean, they could also be in the plumbing.
They do. They get in there.
They are squirrely.
Mm-hmm. And
They
there's
like
like
to-
air pockets in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like we're hitting on maybe a topic I don't necessarily want to talk about today, which is childhood toilet fears.
Yeah.
Very common.
Very
Toilet
common.
anxiety.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're listening to this episode, leave a review, 5 stars. Tell us about your childhood toilet fear because we see you. We're here for you.
Yeah. Spiritually.
Spiritually.
I'm not coming where you're at for your
Actually,
toilet
I
time.
am the rat that lives in the toilet. So,
No.
plot twist.
She says, make a deal with me. $5 on the Patreon.
You can call me Jesse or James. Whatever you feel like, baby.
I have a check-in. Did you want to discuss further the Artemis activities? I understand she had some pizza. We learned a fact about the pizza.
She loves the olives on the pizza, and apparently the olives activate their catnip senses. And so it just makes her high. Never knew this. I have always just been feeding her pizza olives her whole life.
Drug dealer.
I do a thing with food, and I don't know if you feel this way with your dog. Well, I'll let them know you don't feel this way with your dog because dogs are crazy creatures who will just eat anything. Cats are more discerning, so I'll let her sniff something and see if she wants to try it or not. 9 times out of 10, she doesn't want anything to fucking do with any of the food that I'm eating, but every once in a while, she'll want some popcorn or Baby Bell cheese or the olives on pizza. Just that good shit. So she loves that. She also likes ice cream.
Mm-hmm. Wait, does she have a preferred ice cream? Or does it matter?
She really likes like a cookie dough. So more of a muted kind of flavor.
Yeah.
So like a vanilla-y. She won't eat the cookie dough, but she'll like give a few licks of the ice cream.
Mm-hmm. Does she like whipped cream?
I don't think she's had whipped cream. Oh, actually, we had a pup cup from Starbucks on our cross-country drive to LA when we were moving back here. And then she threw up all over my car.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it was the final leg of the journey. So I was like, well, in 10 more hours, we will be home in LA. But I
And we
guess right
can't-
now we have to live with your vomit on the seat. Thanks for doing that.
Ugh.
But it was my fault. And the Starbucks barista just thought she was so cute that she gave us the pup cup for free. So I didn't think, period. I didn't think. I was like, what could go wrong being in a car with like a tiny creature who's probably getting car sick after eating dairy?
Like, what is more adorable than cat in car?
When we cat in car, people love us. I've gotten out of a police ticket that way by having cat in car for speeding. Like, cat in car is great. Probably does more than dog in car. People love dogs, but you see them in cars. You are shook when you see a cat in a car.
You know what people love? Dog in airport.
Oh, that I'm sure. Because
You see dog in airport, people are like, what?
these very like stressful, traumatizing places. Just seeing a cute little furry baby. I can totally believe that. And dog on plane, except no one's like touching dog on plane, but everyone's like, that's a dog.
Yeah. I actually have flown on Southwest and gotten to have the middle seat free because one of the few women that tried to sit there was allergic to dogs. So sometimes
Hell
dog
yeah.
on plane is clutch.
I love that. I love that so much. Yeah, I think about that. I'm like, what do you do if you're allergic to an animal? But I also think like, what do you do if you're that person who's like severely allergic to peanut butter and someone's eating a Reese's on your flight? Like, do you just not fly?
The Timlin equation. He gets to get on the flight early and he wipes everything down. My friend Timlin, who's super allergic to peanuts.
But you don't know who you're going to sit next to.
Yes, of course. I think it's like you can only, I mean, maybe he masks up. I don't know. I mean, there are people that are like, I can't be around bread. And then they hand out those little pretzels.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Fascinating. Not a life I wish to live, not a life I am living.
No, I can't. And Baby Witches, if you are, go to iTunes. Go to Apple Podcasts. Give us 5 stars. Tell us how you feel about your allergies.
We're here. We're ready to listen. Wait, you had a check-in? Tell us.
I went on a field trip.
Okay.
I'm going to share my screen.
Oh, there's a visual game to this. Okay, I'm very excited.
Baby. I went to the Morgan Library, and they had a tarot card exhibition.
Is this the thing I sent you?
Yes, and
Yes, and ooh.
I saw these ancient fucking tarot cards. I saw the original lithographs for Pamela Colin Smith's Rider Smith deck.
Wow.
And also all of these beautiful fucking watercolors that she made in reference to the tarot. I saw in person the full deck of Austin Osman Spare, who we talked about in the
cutie.
the cutie Chaos Magician episode. I also saw the original paintings of the Thoth deck.
Wow, shit.
By Aleister Crowley. Babies, I've really had an experience at this place. I went with a friend. I went with my friend Kate, and we were walking around. We were sort of joking, but it is insane. If you go to the Morgan Library Museum website and you look at this tarot card exhibition, they only have like a small selection of the work online. But like these gold pieces, which are like these gold embossed pieces, are so insane. They're like the size of a clout card, right? You get a little clout card. And but they're so intricate, and like some of them are on these just like wispy tiny pieces of paper. Like they have seen such life. And like as you move around them, like you'll notice that, okay, so this woman on the left, Strength and Fortitude. So you see that she's got this kind of dark blue azure gown on.
Mm-hmm.
You can kind of see like the outlines of the rippling fur on this lion. But as you move around it, all of these cards are insanely embossed. So there's like secret images in each of these where like you'll move around and you'll be like, oh my God, like that skeleton has nipples. Or you'll be like, oh my God, like there's a full scene, like an inner narrative scene on the inside of this like person's armor.
What? That's so cool.
They're so beautiful. Looking at the Thoth deck, I was a little underwhelmed because I found them to be like, they didn't have like the full set, and they had like kind of the originals where they're still labeled as the cards from the regular deck instead of like the Three of Swords being named like pain or betrayal, like the betrayal card, which I was kind of like talking up this idea of like, yeah, and there's a card that's just called pain and there's a card that's just called blood. But they're so vivid, and they have, I would say, I mean, I'd have to really look at the exact number, but 50 to 60 different artists throughout history that have made any number of tarot cards or tarot card referenced images. Like they, anytime I see a Nikki Day St. Fowl piece, I see it when I need it most. And so they had images of like her tarot card garden, but then they also had one of her paintings up that was like the illustration is as she was working on her tarot card garden, which is in Italy. And it's like this massive estate where she built like these insane buildings that are all the different of the major arcana, and she like lived in it.
Oh, that's so cool.
So you like go into Nikki Day St. Fowl's like kitchen that's like the, you know, the Empress or whatever. Anyway, This exhibition is going on until October. And if you are in New York or the tri-state area, it's just amazing. Like they had a Remedios Varo piece that's like really famous, right? Which is The Magician. They also had like her initial sketch, which is on like a tiny piece of like 2-inch by 4-inch. And you like see the tiniest little marks of pencil. And nothing makes me feel closer to an art. Like nothing compresses time the way that seeing artists kind of throw away sketches for images. It was really transformative. It was a beautiful exhibition. I really think that if you are in New York or anywhere close to it, you should go. They had also a bunch of just like strange occult images. And there was this one that is a globe. And based on this like circle, the idea was you would find the year and then you would like meander towards the center and find the planet and the sign that rules that year. And I was like, oh, let's find ours. Oh, this is 1534. Like, I think it's like the Aztec calendar.
You're like, we don't know if Gregorian, like, we don't know.
Who knows?
What calendar are we on?
It was amazing. It was amazing. And I went and I'm going to go again. And maybe I'll see you guys there.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I leave New York and then they have a cool exhibit like that. So not fair.
I leave New York 5 years ago.
And New York continues on without me. Can't fucking believe it. How dare
Devastating. But you had the Gorillas exhibition.
That's true. That was cool in LA. You have things. That's true. Actually, let me tell you about something fun that I'm going to do in September, I think, or October. I don't know. I got birthday tickets to go see Michelle Branch.
What? Really? What?
She's doing like kind of like a reunion tour because she's going to release not new music, but I think she's doing her music and collaborating with different artists. And so she's doing this like tour. And I was like, I have to get tickets. And then I'm broke right now. So I was like, Marcel, my birthday, please give me these tickets. And he was like, okay, baby. So gonna see her in like outside of San Diego because there weren't enough tickets for the LA one. And I was like, we can fucking drive an hour and a half. We've got this.
Yes.
So I'm very excited.
Who are you going to go with? Just you and Marcel? Or are you going to go with friends?
Probably Marcel. It'll be a date. It's like, it's an hour and a half drive. So we're probably going to make it a whole like coastal beach kind of day beforehand and then go to it. So I'm so excited though.
Wow. That's going to be amazing.
I know. I can't wait. It'll be so much fun. But okay, speaking of amazing.
Speaking of fun.
Have you heard about our Patreon?
Baby Witches. Go on iTunes. Give us 5 stars. Say, I love the Patreon for this podcast because I do too. Well, you want to be like me.
Exactly. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Like, we're out there. Give us 5 stars on your favorite podcasting platform. Say something nice. We love hearing from you. And even better, we have a Patreon.
Yeah, so Baby Witches, if you miss us when we're gone, if you like watching us go, but you hate when we leave, we'll come once more again, but behind a paywall. And that paywall is perfectly hidden. It's actually a really secret place. I'll tell you right now. It's www.patreon.com/witchyes. We made it difficult so that only the strong could survive. For $5, you will get access to our entire back catalog. It's kind of insane. We've been doing it for almost a decade. So there's like topics you would have no idea that we would cover. We talked about, what did we talk about last week?
Last week we talked about Passport to Morgonia.
Are fairies really UFOs? Or are UFOs fairies?
And to which I don't know.
No.
These fairies are just up to shit.
And we're going to talk about them again today.
Yes. Oh my gosh, of course we are. And then next week, did a bar in Manhattan really ban people who are Aries?
I know, because we recorded the episode.
The tea, the gossip. Oh my goodness. Scandalous. But yeah, check out our Patreon. We post 2 minisodes a month up there, and it's for more of our obscure and weird, I would say weirder topics. But they're all very occult. They're all very fun, very folklore, very spooky. And I mean, today's, as we're recording, like I said, is July 31st, Artemis's birthday. Bless. But tomorrow is August 1st for me, which means that I will be decorating for Halloween.
I started putting pumpkin spice in my coffee in the morning, and I thought of you. Because I was a little bit like, well, the Spooktober, what is it? The Summerween.
Summerween.
Starts when I get scared. And I got a lot of anxiety. So I'm scared most of the year.
So it's time. I know. I can't wait. I'm like, we're going to decorate our whole house and it's going to be amazing.
Do you have new decorations?
No, not yet. But above my desk, there's like a spider web that's been there, like around the window on the side.
Mhm.
And so that's fine. You know, the spider does whatnot. But this spider web is getting bigger. And I do think I may have to fight with my fake spider webs and this real spider web. So we might have a situation we got to duke it out a little bit.
This is like that episode of Neighbors where they had the competing Halloween decoration contests and how like heated it got. And except it's you and this actual spider being like, my culture is not a costume.
It's so true. It's so true. And we're not going to gentrify the spider. The spider will live there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe we will gentrify it. Maybe I'll just take a little bit of that spider web down, but no spiders will be hurt in the process.
How big is this web?
Well, the spider web is pretty thick, and I'm not going to touch that. But it's just kind of creeping into my area a little bit, and I'm like, yo, dog, I got to put my spooky net up there. Like, sorry. It's my time.
I like that when you have boundaries with animals, it's okay. But when I have boundaries with animals...
The way that pigeon story sounded, though, okay. Everyone from Witchy is going to be on my side. It's going to be like,
no.
I opened my barbecue thingy and there were all these pigeons, so I tossed them over my rooftop.
And they fell down like that woman in Barbarian off of the water tower.
Just threw them off of my balcony. That's what your bird story sounded like.
No, that's what you heard.
That's
That's
just
what you
horror.
No. Baby Witches. You'll only access this in the Patreon. Baby Witches, give me $5. I'll give you access to the Patreon. You can listen to this one episode. We don't have to tell anybody, but you need to know.
The truth.
The truth. I mean, I know we have to start this episode because it's a little long, but I also had a bug issue 2 days ago where I shower, I work out, and I take my glasses off before I get into the bathroom because there's no fan in my bathroom. And when I shower, it gets like really steamy. So I leave my glasses outside. Mm-hmm. And so I take a full shower and I do my affirmations and I guasha and I say, wow, isn't it crazy that everything works out for me? And then I got out of the shower and what do I see on the wall? Alicia, I'm not exaggerating. I would say the size of my middle finger. Big, furry blob.
Blob?
Well, I'm not wearing my glasses.
Oh, I was like, what bug is this?
And having lived in Indiana, sort of just instinctually know that this is a giant centipede. So I walk out into my living room. We just gotten curtains. So I walk into my living room, butt-ass naked. I get my glasses. I see, yes, it is indeed the biggest fucking centipede I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, what do? I do not have a glass with a large enough hole to catch this thing. And I'm so scared of it. So I get a wine glass because it's got a big head on it. I got a big wine glass. And I'm like, if I'm fast enough, this wine glass is a little brittle. So I don't want to like do it too fast and it shatters.
Yeah.
But I'm going to save this man. I'm so scared. And I'm starting to shake.
And
I'm
they move
starting to get
fast.
upset.
Yeah.
And they move really fast. And so then I'm like, I go, ha! And he moves at the last second and gets his fucking forehead stuck between the glass rim and the wall. So I scream and I start to cry because he's like pushing his head.
Oh,
but I'm like, if I let you go, then you're going to run onto me and do scary bug things to me. So I'm just like sobbing as I like,
oh my God.
See, and I'm like, this is not how the pigeon story went. So then I'm like, okay, I'm just going to wiggle it around. So he's like still kind of alive. And I like say, I'm crying. And Dolly's like, what's going on? And I like take him out to the back. I have like a robe barely on, but it is 5 a.m. So like nobody's out. And I just tossed it over the edge. And it did fall over the edge like that woman from Barbarian off the water tower. And I just sat on the ground and cried. And Mike came out and he was like, what is going on? And I was like, there's a bug. And I squished him. He was like, Jesus fucking Christ. I've been asleep for an hour.
Wow.
Anyway, that's just what I'm up to. Tarot cards, bug drama. Pigeons are gone though.
Because she killed them.
No. That's Bay Witches. You're on my side.
We did just hear the story about how you decapitated a centipede.
I know, it was so awful. It was so awful. Everything about it was awful. I'm upset again. We have to start this episode so I can be happy.
Yeah. Tell us who this lady of the lake is. Why is she in the lake? Is this Lake Placid? What's happening?
How does she feel about alligators?
All of it.
Yeah. We like her.
Okay.
Just up front.
We like a woman in the lake.
Yeah. She seems helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Armed.
Excellent.
But also, she has an affinity for power that I really identify with.
Oh, okay.
Before we speak on the Lady of the Lake, we must first talk about a man.
Boo.
And before we talk about the man, we must speak about the before times. So sit down,
relax,
get out your history notebook. It's yellow. And let's go.
Oh, yeah, it would be yellow.
Of course. Before Britain became a worldwide colonizer, before the plague, before the church, and most importantly, before Roman rule, the island was not a unified kingdom, but instead a patchwork of dozens of Celtic-speaking tribes with varying degrees of influence and power. Now hold up. If your little beautiful witchy mind is trying to go from no kingdom to no civilization, the people of Iron Age Britain before 43 CE minted coins.
Oh, wow.
They had local kings and queens. They traded with broader Europe, and they knew about Rome because Julius Caesar, for over 100 years, and his successors, were sending reconnaissance missions to scope out what the hell these Celtic hillfolk were up to, and if they were acquirable, acquisitionable. If you remember from our Druid episode ages ago, what little we know about the Druids comes from the haters supreme, Roman propagandists. And because, for some reason, in order to demonize a people into servitude, folks love to spread the rumor that the opposition is eating babies, right? This was a major propaganda tool. So the Druids, they're fucking each other. They're doing weird sex stuff in the woods. They have women who, they may not be voting, but they have opinions, and they're eating babies.
I love that. Nothing to get people against each other than eating children.
The innocent.
The innocent.
The vulnerable. And that's because the innocents and the vulnerable can't actually have opinions or voices. So we speak for them, and those voices, us speaking for them, is based off of just like what we actually want.
Absolutely. And what we actually want is we want to eat the babies.
I'm hungry.
I mean, they're delicious.
So 43 CE, almost 2,000 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
Rome sends 40,000 Roman soldiers across the English Channel and for decades lays siege to Britain. Some tribes roll over belly up, but many of them fight. Namely, someone we have not spoken about, but who I hold dear to my heart, the Celtic queen Boudica.
Boudica.
Boudica! So Boudica, she is this queen. Her husband dies, is killed by Roman soldiers, and then she rises up and like unites all of these tribes in ancient Britain and leads the most significant rebellion against the Romans. Unfortunately, Boudica's rebellion was not enough to stop over 350 years of Roman rule over Britain.
Damn.
So
good try,
she
though.
loses.
Yeah.
She's a folk hero. I mean, beyond a folk hero. She is a symbol of liberation. She is that woman with one tit out at the French Revolution painting, right? Boudica. With Roman soldiers came Roman ideals, Roman bureaucracy, Roman taxes, Roman gods, Roman architecture. However, I looked it up, and Google Maps said it would take me 16 days, no bathroom breaks, no motels, to walk from Rome to London. And that includes a little ferry ride, but that I assume did not exist in 43 CE. So Britain is a long way from the center of Roman power. And because of this, it has an unevenly distributed, I would say, area of influence, right? Like Roman culture does not assimilate across the islands evenly. So you'll have people who speak Latin and worship Roman gods in England. And then a couple hollers over, they're speaking their native Celtic tongue and worrying about fairies. And then all of the hollers in between are kind of doing both. And then comes Christianity.
Bum, bum, bum.
lightning crack. This mixed cultural ecosystem is going to make some things that come later make more sense, because I would say that the spiritual promiscuity of England at this time makes a lot of like later immigration from England to the US make sense too. So it's like the Ozarks, Appalachia, like they have this kind of inherent belief in all things that can hurt you, regardless of whether or not I believe in the devil, right? Like, does that make sense?
It's got spooks.
It's got spooks. And the British people are superstitious.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then they move to the US and they're like, I have to poop where? Okay, 410 CE. And we are getting somewhere now because we are almost ready to talk about our man that we've been waiting to talk about. The Roman government is under a lot of pressure because it's being attacked from all sides. It's getting leaned on by the Huns, the Visigoths, who are from Spain and parts of France, and a people called the Vandals, who are from like Eastern Germany, even though Germany doesn't really exist at this time. And the Roman government is like, it is simply too expensive to keep maintaining our rule over this like far-flung pinky toe that we have on Britain. So we're gonna like Afghanistan Joe Biden ourselves out of this. Bye-bye. The Roman officials are gone. The Roman coinage also gone. The buildings still exist. The roads are here, but no one is maintaining them. People stop learning how to read, how to write, and then the fighting begins. And this is where our man appears.
Who is it? Who is this man?
It is Arthur.
King Arthur. Swoon.
He says, "Hey, it's a wonderful kind of day to be at my round table, and get along with each other." So for many people that live today, the legend of King Arthur, the miraculous king that will return to save Britain, is a real prophecy. It is not a story. The story goes that the father of Arthur, Uther Pendragon, fell in love with the Duchess Igraine, who is already married to the Duke of Cornwall. So scandalous.
Ooh, I love it.
Unable to win her honestly, Uther enlists the help of the magician Merlin to disguise himself as the Duke. And he enters the castle of Tintagel, where he and Igraine conceive Arthur under mysterious circumstances.
Oh, interesting. An
Does
affair.
she know? Does she not know? We don't know.
Wait,
Depends
what?
on what you read. Because he's
Interesting.
disguised. But then sometimes it's like, they make this plan. This is the thing about old texts. So, after Arthur is born, he is stolen away to be raised in secret by the Merlin.
By his weird fucking uncle.
He's raised without knowing his noble birthright, and when Britain needs a real king to rise up and save the land, a sword appears embedded in a stone that can only be claimed by the true king. Arthur is able to pull the sword from the stone, and everyone recognizes him as king immediately. This is the sword Excalibur. Oh, sorry. I wrote, this sword is not Excalibur. I take it back. I was wrong the first time.
Okay, this is not Excalibur.
But this is a special sword.
Okay.
Who says this boy child, is king. After Arthur's first sword breaks, he encounters the lady of the hour, of the day of the time of the year, the lake. And this lady offers him Excalibur.
Ah, interesting. I always thought the one in the stone was Excalibur.
Yeah, so sometimes it depends on what iteration you're reading, but usually the first one is not necessarily a magical sword. Excalibur is a magical sword.
I see.
Arthur goes on to establish Camelot, the Round Table, seek the Holy Grail, be betrayed by Mordred, who is sometimes his nephew and sometimes his illegitimate son. Arthur kills Mordred,
Wow.
but he is mortally wounded. Before he dies, Arthur is collected and taken across the water to Avalon, which we will also talk about, where he is put in a deep sleep, only to rise again at Britain's greatest hour of need, which I thought would be the Blitz. But apparently he was like, you guys got the Nazis, I'm sure. I believe in you.
Yeah, I was like,
Trust.
where was he during the Chronicles of Narnia when these poor children had to go into a wardrobe? Where was King Arthur?
He doesn't care about the children. He eats babies.
That's crazy. Where was he when Margaret Thatcher was in control?
Yes.
What kind of king is he?
This kind of king, where he needs magical swords in order to rule.
Well, all right.
But tell us, baby witches, you scream, tell us. about the lady.
We've been waiting. We want to know about the lady. We're not here for the guy.
No, and we're not here for the history. We're not here
We're
to
not
talk
here
about
for the
colonization.
history lesson.
So the Lady of the Lake does not appear in the original telling of the legend of King Arthur, but is rather a later French Romanticist addition. She is a literary creation, but I think she is an interesting spyglass into Celtic folklore because so much of this story is like the intersection of Christian mysticism, like this fantasy of what the British Isles believe themselves to be, and the very real folklore of that time, which is full of fairies and women in water and swords that you happen upon.
I love this.
So who is she and how many of them are there? Because this number, the answer to this changes. Sometimes she is Nimune, sometimes she is Vivian, sometimes she is Ninian, and sometimes all three are their own ladies of the lake. Okay, so this is from the National Library of France. Fairies are one of the most important elements of Arthurian fantasy. They are supernatural beings of Celtic origin, often fatal women, very interesting term, fatal women, whose figures are an extension of the nymphs and the goddesses of antiquity. Knights searching for adventures meet these women with strange powers in the dark and deep forests, but also in castles that stand on the roads. Beneficial or malicious, they often hide their nature under the guise of a virgin in distress. Ooh, I can't open this pickle jar, and I've never had sex. In order to test the bravery and virtue of these knights. Among these fairies, Vivian plays a prominent role. The Lady of the Lake, called Ninian or Ninian in medieval texts, embodies the traditional water fairy. It is she who spirits away the newborn Lancelot, which we will get to keep him and raise him in her domain of the lake, sheltered from the world. Once he is knighted, she will always keep an eye on her protege, whom she will save several times from madness.
Wow.
Also true. Also true. These knights, they're going through a lot. Talk about shell shock. But theories abound. Some connect the Lady of the Lake to Gurgen Oftwin, who are beautiful female fairies who live beneath lakes and rivers found in Welsh folklore and only wear green. She's also been connected to the Celtic water goddess Coviana, worshipped in Romano-British times as Coventina, very cute little name, who inhabited blessed springs and streams. Which, this one's interesting because there was a practice of offering not only shiny coins, something I'm very familiar with, but also shiny swords to blessed springs of Coventina. So if you go to Britain on an archaeological assignment, of course, it would be cool as hell, but not totally out of left field to find a sword in a spring or a stream or a lake or in a bog.
That's crazy.
Like it happens, and not all that infrequently.
It would be disgusting.
Yeah.
So slimy.
Yeah. Depending on the spring or the bog.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I think I would prefer
a spring over a bog. Yeah. No. We don't want a bog sword.
All right. Additionally, when Arthur is recognized as king the first time, it's because he pulls the sword from the stone, right? And everybody is like, our boy king, certainly. He has the perspective and maturity. The rock, the earth itself, chooses him. It feels very material, masculine. It's easy for him to pull the sword from the stone where stronger men could not. But then this sword breaks, and the land of Britain chooses him again in the form of the Lady of the Lake. And so I want you to come on this little detour with me, which is in many early Irish texts, not British, Irish, the land was imagined as a living female being.
I can see it.
Right? She embodies all of the roses and the thorns of being a real woman, condensing all of her maiden, mother, and crone identity into one great, awesome mass. Because God is a woman who is on my side, and boy, is she huge.
Absolutely.
A leader must be accepted by the land in this folklore, and it is their job to be the steward of that land, which also includes its people. And if she grows unhappy, the land, she will withdraw prosperity and abundance. There's literally a term for this. It's called sovereignty goddess, which is interesting because as you look through history, there's all of these archetypes of women, like the motherland, right? Like we view the ocean as a woman. We view countries as women, and the men that lead them as their fathers or their husbands. And I was thinking also of like this concept of like Lady Liberty as this sovereignty goddess. Like she literally welcomes you to your new identity as an American.
Yeah. Oh, that's fascinating.
But back to Our Lady. She's so wet and she's soggy. She's aquatic. This layout for establishing government, it's just really not how things are done the way that we're used to them. We think of kings and queens. We think of coronations, right? The church, or successions of heirs or conquerors, right? Like if I went to the King of England and I was like,
Charles.
Hi, how are you? Lovely to see your beautiful wife. I'm really more of a Diana girl, but I understand you guys just should have never gotten married. I need to tell you that the land did choose me. Yes, it chose me. I have the sword. I do need you to scooch over because you're in my chair. I feel like I would be seized.
Yeah. You'd be in prison.
But at the end of this legend, Arthur returns the sword to the lake. And this may seem like super weird to us from like a modern standpoint because we also believe the chosen one is the chosen one forever. But in the context of sovereignty goddesses and Celtic folklore, the gift of power has to keep moving, right? Like to hold it in one place with one person stagnates the cycle. And energy is meant to continue moving. When it is Arthur's time once again, he will return and dare to be chosen again. All right, so I'm going to tell you the story of this literary device so we can actually talk about like, what's she getting up to? You know, who is this woman? So the lady doesn't show up until the 12th century in chivalric romance poems. And when I say poems, basically everything from this era is a poem, like plays are poems, books are poems. The concept of chivalry shows up in Western Europe between the 11th and 13th century as a cultural psyop. That's the word I'm using for it. People were like, oh, you know, it was kind of a law, you know, people were just trying to control people's behavior. This is a psyop. Poets, clergy, and royal courts were trying to lead knights through positive reinforcement by praising tales of noble, dutiful, and chivalrous knights. Instead of just like praising knights who did violence all day, like they were in the pit. And that was because they had a problem with knights doing violence all day and being in the pit. A major set of chivalrous knights were the Knights of the Round Table. French poet Chrétien de Troyes and German poet Ulrich von Satzikofen wrote some of the first pieces where characters like Lancelot began appearing, as well as Our Lady. So chronologically, the lady, she's around before Arthur is born because she may be immortal, and if she's not immortal, she has an extended lifespan and insane skincare routine because she's been around for hundreds of years. She rules an enchanted kingdom hidden beneath the lake, but it's not like an underwater castle. It's not like she's not a mermaid.
Okay.
It's more like in Celtic folklore, bodies of water can be portals to other worlds, if that makes sense.
Hell
it's
yeah.
kind of like if you got to the bottom of the lake, you would find another top of the lake.
Oh.
Kind of.
Ooh, that's
Does
fun.
that make sense?
Yeah.
She possesses powerful magic, she understands prophecy, and she protects chosen heroes. At some point, she gets introduced to Merlin, who falls in love with her.
Oh my gosh, Merlin, you dog.
In an effort to win her over, he begins to teach her Merlin magic.
Oh, okay.
And after he teaches her everything he knows, she imprisons him.
I mean, what you gonna do about it, Merlin?
I know all your tricks.
Ha ha ha. Who's the magician now?
Yeah. Give me your beard. Punch him right in his beard. Depending on the flair of the author, Merlin gets imprisoned in a magical tree, a glass tower, a crystal cave, an enchanted hill, and also just another rock. Medieval readers likely would have read this as a massive betrayal on the part of the lady because that's what women do. They betray.
So rude.
But many modern interpretations read Merlin's amorous pursuits as having pushed the Lady of the Lake to defend herself by imprisoning him. Like kind of a Bacchus energy, right?
Mm-hmm. He wasn't going to leave her alone.
No, he was never going to learn his lesson. He doesn't take no for an answer. He just like turns into a lizard or whatever.
Yeah. And it's gross, okay? It's fucking gross. You know what? Go kill yourself.
Oh my God. No. Merlin,
Merlin.
I think you can be reformed.
Ew.
Believe in you. What was I reading the other thought forms? The image of a gross man.
A gross man, and it's Merlin.
So obviously Merlin gets out because he does help young Arthur throughout his life in a magical way.
All right.
And he also, they must have some kind of reconciliation because Merlin leads Arthur to the Lady of the Lake to receive his magical sword.
He leads, but he doesn't go in. Merlin's like, I've done things with this lady before. Not again.
There's just a big picture of him on the outside of the lake that says, do not serve.
Yeah.
So he doesn't just get a sword. Arthur doesn't just get a sword. He also gets a scabbard, which is said to be even more powerful than the sword. As long as Arthur wears it, he cannot bleed to death.
Okay.
Merlin warns him, protect the scabbard above all else. This is actually you being an unkillable king, much more important than being a killer king. But Arthur, being a literary device and needing a poetic Edda style fuck up, ignores this. Okay, he's got a little bit of Loki in him. And his half-sister Morgane steals it and throws it into another lake, removing Arthur's supernatural protection. And I just want to say, this is a lot of littering going on.
Well, I'm just like, if we go there now and jump in a lake, could we find Excalibur?
Who knows what we could find?
Ooh, okay.
People were like, oh yeah, like they throw the swords into the spring to like bless them and honor them. And they're like offerings, to the springs. But I was also like, what do people do when they've murdered their friend's wife with a gun and they're on the run?
They throw it into the water.
Into a reservoir.
And
right?
the body, yeah.
I don't know what the criminal justice system or the investigative.
I don't know if there was much back then.
I don't know.
Yeah, just all these vicious knights.
That needs positive reinforcement. Because we can't just tell them, stop killing and ravishing young women. Now we need to talk about, oh, it's so wonderful, these nice knights.
Mm-hmm.
Love nice knights.
They're so handsome. All of this, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So clean behind their ears, wash their legs. Lancelot, speaking of nice, Lancelot's knightly name is Lancelot du Lac, which is because he is Lancelot of the Lake.
Ah.
When Lancelot's father dies, Lancelot, and he's just a little baby boy, he's just a little guy, the Lady of the Lake adopts him and raises him in her otherworldly lake kingdom. He's raised with the morality tales and noble manners of this other world, which is why he has a strong sense of chivalry and also beautiful hair. And when he comes of age, the Lady of the Lake presents him to the court of King Arthur. And if you don't know about this, fucking falls in love with his wife, Guinevere.
I don't.
And they do have an affair.
What?
I know.
After all this chivalry?
After all this chivalry. But it's also like this idea of like courtly love, where like their affair, they don't touch. There's just long glances. And I think it's like she gives him a lock of her hair.
Ooh, creepy.
And like that's like his most prized possession. And there's all of these like paintings, of course, of like Guinevere and Lancelot where she just like touches a pillar and then his hands on the other side of it's like that kind of shit. Anyway.
Interesting.
And for the rest of this tale, the Lady of the Lake acts as a fairy godmother type character to the Knights of the Round Table, offering advice and helping whatever way that she can. And as I said before, in the final battle, when Arthur is mortally wounded, he is collected by a group of magical women and taken to Avalon, and often the Lady of the Lake is among these women.
Okay.
Okay, but what is Avalon?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
So Avalon is not the underwater world of the Lady of the Lake. It is a separate island off the coast of Britain. The name Avalon is derived from the Welsh word affel, meaning apple. So Avalon means Isle of Apples. Throughout Welsh and Celtic mythology, apples will show up as fruit that never spoils. It can heal wounds, grant knowledge, grant eternal youth. Avalon shows up for the first time in Historia Regum Britanniae, which is the Latin work by Geoffrey of Monmouth in the 1100s. It is a pseudo-historical work meant to be taken as the first-hand account of Britain from a Roman general's perspective in the 7th century. So it's art. It's fan fiction art.
Okay.
And Geoffrey expands upon it in the Latin work Vita Merlini, The Life of Merlin. And Avalon is ruled by 9 magical sisters.
Oh, interesting.
Their leader is Morgan Le Fay, who is, in later tellings, fucking evil.
Ooh.
Evil woman. Magical evil woman. But right now she's a healer and she understands astronomy and medicine and magic. She's benevolent, And a big question people seem to ask is whether or not Avalon is heaven or like British Valhalla, right? Because it's like, it's a place where no one ever dies, and there's all these heroes that are brought here, and it's like misty, it's hard to get to. But I think it's more akin to the Irish and Celtic idea of, again, this like other world, this like parallel world that interacts with our world in like little pockets. The Tir na Nog is the legendary otherworld of Irish mythology, often portrayed as a land of eternal youth, beauty, and abundance. And you can't just walk into Tir na Nog. You can't just walk into the club. You either have to reach it through magic, by floating across the sea, or by invitation. Similarly, An Uven is the Celtic otherworld or fairy world.
Ooh, so fascinating.
Yes. I mean, it's like, I really thought this was going to be one thing, but then, and I was like, I'm sure like this is attached to some idea of mythology, and then to find that like, no, actually all of this is rooted in us making sense after the fact.
Yeah.
Like post-colonization, after the fact of like, what was our history? What is our proximity to magic?
So fascinating because, yeah, it does dip into the mythology and the folklore. And something that keeps popping up is like, why are all these women in the water?
What are we doing in there?
What are we doing? Okay, baby witches, have you ever noticed that mythology has like a suspicious number of hot, mysterious women hanging out in bodies of water? Like, what's going on? We've got the Lady of the Lake, water nymphs, sirens, mermaids, naiads. And every time some medieval knight or ancient Greek guy wandered too close to a lake, there was a solid chance a magical woman was about to pop out and either hand him a legendary weapon or completely ruin his life. One way or the other.
Both.
Sometimes
both.
Why are we all in the water, ladies? What's going on? And so, doing some research, it turns out there's actually a reason behind this. So for ancient people, water was not just water. It was much more than that. It was life. It grew crops. It kept people alive. It healed the sick. But it could also flood your village, drown you, or hide things you were never meant to find. Water was mysterious, unpredictable, and so powerful. So naturally they thought, you know who should be in charge of this? A magical woman.
A magical woman.
And honestly, I think that makes sense. Like, you're not going to give it to a magical man. Did you see how Merlin was behaving?
Okay,
No.
yeah, that's true. He's going to get too horny.
No, thank you.
Give it all away.
So take the Lady of the Lake. She's not just some random lady who forgot to leave the pond. So in Arthurian legend, she lives in a magical lake, as Terra said, that's basically a portal between our world and the other worlds. She gives King Arthur Excalibur, raises Sir Lancelot, and generally has the vibe of someone who definitely knows secrets she's not going to tell you unless you've done the reading. And the Greeks, oh, they were obsessed with these women. Women have to be in lakes. Every river, spring, lake had its own female spirit called a naiad. But don't let the word nymph fool you into thinking Disney princess. These women could heal you, inspire you, give you prophetic visions, or drag you underwater because you disrespected their home.
We can't have them in the cities.
No, these are outside ladies.
These are wild ladies.
And the Romans basically said, we'll take that idea, and adopted a lot of the same things into their culture. Sacred wells and healing springs were thought to be home to divine feminine spirits, and people tossed offerings into the water hoping for blessings, which is actually why we still throw coins into fountains today. So we've been trying to bribe magical water ladies for thousands of years to grant our wishes.
It makes sense.
It does. It really does.
Because what beautiful woman doesn't like a little shiny thing. Like, we're really like crows.
Oh, yes.
And if I give you a little shiny thing, I feel like you would give me something of equal value back. And sometimes that thing is a wish.
Absolutely. And most times it's a wish. That's exactly what the Lady of the Lakes are thinking. But then, of course, there's also the Celts. And to them, lakes and wells weren't just bodies of water. They're the doorways to the other world. This is some big shit. So like Terra said, archaeologists have found swords, but also jewelry, shields, and all kinds of valuable objects intentionally thrown into the lakes as offerings. We're not going to give you some coins. I'm going to give you my dowry. I'm going to give you my firstborn. Like, what do you want? You can have it. Please make my wish come true. Please pick me.
Pick me, choose me. The heart of the ocean, anything you want.
So when the Lady of the Lake rises out of the water holding Excalibur, medieval audiences would have recognized that immediately. So she's not just making a dramatic entrance. She's the keeper of sacred power. And here's the thing I love. These women are almost never the side characters. They're not waiting around to be rescued. They're the ones deciding who gets the magic sword, who becomes king, who receives hidden knowledge, who gets blessed, and who gets absolutely fucking wrecked.
Fucking Lady of the Lake comes out, she's got nunchucks.
Yeah, she goes, fuck.
And Arthur's there like, sick, fucking magical.
So cool, so mysterious, very hot lady of the water.
Yeah.
And honestly, if mythology has taught us anything, it's this. If a mysterious woman appears out of a lake, you gotta be respectful. If anything, you gotta learn from Merlin. You gotta be respectful because she probably knows more than you do. And she almost certainly has better boundaries than you do. So keep yourself in check, okay? And so maybe that's why these stories keep showing up. Like water represents mystery, some transformation, birth, death, all the things humans have struggled to explain. So cultures around the world imagine powerful women standing at the edge between the known and the unknown. And honestly, I support women in STEM. Sacred thresholds, enchanted marshes. We love them. But okay, there are other ladies of the lake as well. Terra really liked that one. She's like, this bitch ain't in STEM.
She is. She's in STEM.
She's in STEM. So there are so many other types of ladies of the lake. Every culture wants to put a woman in a lake. Like, it's incredible. And we know La Llorona. So we'll highlight a few of the lesser known ladies of the lake in their stories. There's Santanaya. She's often described as the wise matriarch of the Narts, a cultural hero who is clever, politically savvy, magically gifted, and frequently the smartest person in the room. We love a bitch who's the smartest person in the room. While the male warriors are off fighting, Santanaya is usually the one solving problems, inventing things, and just keeping the entire society functioning while the men aren't there. In many versions of the myth, Santanaya is born from a stone that has been fertilized by the sea or by water, or she emerges after a magical interaction between stone and water. So in some tellings, she's closely associated with rivers, springs, or the sea, emphasizing water as a source of creation and divine life. So while she doesn't live in a lake handing out enchanted swords like the Lady of the Lake, her birth ties her to the same symbolic themes. Water as the source of all wisdom, power, fertility, transformation, all that good. And one of the things I love about Santanaya is that she completely flips the supporting female character trope. She's not primarily defined by romance or motherhood, although she is a mother in many stories, but that's not her main thing. Because more importantly, she's a strategist, diplomat, inventor, and advisor. So think less mysterious woman waiting by the lake and more the CEO of the entire mythological universe.
She's in the boardroom. She's like, damn it, Gerald.
Firing people.
Yeah.
Sentencing them to their doom, probably. Then there's also the Rusalka. The Rusalki are creepy folklore figures because they're basically what happens when you combine a ghost story, a cautionary tale, and a don't go skinny dipping at night warning.
Oh, this is what we're worried about
This
at our
is.
lake house.
Mm-hmm. Rusalki are female spirits from Slavic folklore, found throughout countries like Ukraine, Russia, Belarus, Poland, and the Czech Republic, though their stories vary by each region. They're often associated with rivers, lakes, ponds, and forests, and their legends have changed over hundreds of years. So originally, Rusalki may not have been evil at all. Some folklorists believe they began as nature spirits connected to water and fertility. In the spring, people believe they blessed crops, brought rain, and helped the land become fertile. But as Christianity spread and folklore evolved, many stories transformed them into restless spirits of women who died tragically or violently.
Oh.
The most common legend says a Rusalka is the spirit of a young woman who drowned, sometimes by accident, sometimes by suicide, sometimes after betrayal by a lover, or after dying before marriage. A lot of variances with this. But because her life ended out of order, her soul couldn't move on. So instead, she remained tethered to the water where she died. And unlike the Disney version of a mermaid, a Rusalka usually looks completely human. She's often described as breathtakingly beautiful. So think Terra or myself, with incredibly long flowing hair, sometimes green, sometimes golden, sometimes black, and pale with almost like glowing skin. In some traditions, her hair is constantly wet, and if it ever dries out, she loses her power.
Oh.
I know, that's crazy. She's usually dressed in a simple white gown or appears barefoot with flowers woven into her hair. But then she smiles at you.
And we're friends forever.
So Rusalki are famous for luring people to the water. Depending on the legend, they'll sing, laugh, dance in the moonlight, or simply appear sitting on a riverbank just combing their hair. If someone follows them, the encounter rarely ends well. Some stories say they tickle their victims until they literally die from exhaustion.
From my fear.
I know, what a way to fucking go.
Covered in piss.
Oh my God. Others say they pull people beneath the water and drown them. A few legends claim they even enchant people into dancing until they collapse.
That's fairy shit.
Yeah, it is some fairy shit. One of the eeriest traditions is Rusalka Week, which is often called Rusalia, and that's celebrated in parts of Eastern Europe during late spring or early summer. People believe the Rusalki left the water during this period and wandered the fields and the forests. So villagers avoided swimming, stayed away from rivers at night, and sometimes left offerings or performed rituals to keep the spirits happy. So it was thought to be the most dangerous time, when the boundary between the human world and the spirit world grew very thin. And interestingly, Rusalki aren't always villains. In older stories, they could protect rivers, bless fishermen, or even help lost travelers if they were treated with respect. So like many water spirits, they embody nature's duality. Water can nourish your crops or sweep your village away. The Rusalka reflects the same unpredictable balance.
That's like kind of like very classic, like black and white thinking of like, we really want to be like, for society, all of these women have the potential to harm you. Mm-hmm. And so they are bad. But actually, it's like more nuanced than that. But it's so much easier to tell kids these creatures are out to get you.
Yeah.
And because they're out to get you, they must be bad. And then those kids grow up to be adults and they have children. And it's like this game of telephone. And all of a sudden, the Rusalki are demonic tickle monsters.
Well, I also thought it was interesting because it said like they were more seen as villains after Christianity came. Mm-hmm. So then with having this new like Christian narrative, this God narrative, this Jesus narrative, and looking at more of like what's good and what's evil, that instead of, oh, they were respected, like they could harm you, but if you don't harm them, then you're fine. Like you should give them blessings. And now it's like, these are things of the devil. So it's very interesting how Christianity came in and changed the narrative about the Rusalki.
Yeah. But then also like they can't eliminate it.
Yeah.
Which would have been like their ultimate plan.
Yeah. It's like legend lives on and then it just got warped more and more over time. Mm-hmm. It's fascinating. And then the last one we'll touch on is Bin Nihe. Bin Nihe is the folklore equivalent of someone doing laundry but for death.
Shut the hell up. What?
Her name comes from Scottish Gaelic and roughly translates to the washerwoman. See, you feel comfortable now, don't you? You're like, okay, she's just doing her laundry. But
Okay.
she's actually one of the most eerie figures in Scottish Highland folklore and is often considered a cousin or a type of the banshee. So picture this. It's dusk. You're walking alone near a river. Up ahead, you see an old woman kneeling at the water's edge, scrubbing clothes stained with blood. Yep.
Blood.
Turn around. Because according to legend, those clothes belong to someone who is about to die.
And you look down and it's just my fucking Uniqlo underpants.
No! I know. The Binihe spends her time washing the garments or sometimes the armor of people whose deaths are imminent. She's essentially doing tomorrow's laundry today, which is an incredibly unsettling concept. But here's where she gets really interesting. Unlike the banshee who announces death by screaming or wailing, the Binihe is much quieter. She just washes. Her work itself is the omen. And she's not always an old crone, so she's not always an old lady. Depending on the story, she can appear as a tiny wrinkled old woman with webbed feet, or a young beautiful woman with long hair, or a supernatural fairy-like being, or even the ghost of a woman who died during childbirth and is doomed to wash until the day she would have naturally died.
My God.
Which that's fascinating because I don't know what the ghost of a woman who died during childbirth looks like.
It's so specific.
Unless it's very graphic,
What does that look like?
I mean, unless she's bleeding, I don't know.
Man.
And that last version is especially haunting because it ties her to the idea of unfinished lives, which is a theme that shows up over and over again in Celtic folklore. Like, even if you died early or accidentally, your soul is still bound until you were actually supposed to die.
Oh, yeah, weird.
Yeah, a little fucked up. If you manage to sneak up on the Binihe without her noticing you, some legends say you can ask her questions, which we love, a Zoltar kind of situation. If you catch her between yourself and the water, she's obligated to answer truthfully. So people would ask, who is going to die? When will they die? How can I avoid my fate? And can my destiny be changed? But other legends say that if she sees you first, well, congratulations on learning whose bloody clothes she's washing, because they're yours. Ooh.
Ooh, chills. Ooh, scary.
Spooky.
I like that. I'm getting to ask her questions thing. Like, there's this thing about spirits, especially like those attached to death, where like their experience of time is different.
Mm-hmm.
So like, of course they could like tell you stuff from the future because like time doesn't exist to ghosts. And yeah, like having question, like whenever I play with the Ouija board, I like never know what to ask.
Yeah.
You know, because like they're supposed to also be able to tell you future stuff.
Ooh.
I don't know what I would ask.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Would you? Yeah.
It doesn't seem like there's a limitless question. Like, it doesn't seem like you're stuck with one. It seems like you can maybe ask a few.
Yeah. So questions
Before she disappears or something. So I don't know. I think I just want to know like more about her. I'd be like, what's your name? Like, how'd you get here?
That is such a beautiful feminist perspective. Let's see. Let's turn the camera around.
Yeah. Who are you? How did your soul get stuck here?
Why are you a woman who's died during childbirth and doomed to wash until the day? What?
Do you ever
How is
want
that
to
related?
not wash clothes?
Oh my God. Yeah. You must have an insane lotion routine to keep your hands.
Oh, yeah. From getting all pruny.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Gangrening off.
Crazy. And there's also little wonderful details that make the folklore more fun about Binihe. Some descriptions say she has one enormous nostril or one huge protruding tooth and sagging breasts so long that she throws them over her shoulders while she washes, which I love that idea. That's incredible.
She throws them over her shoulder like a continental soldier.
Bop, bop. And then keeps washing. Now that they're out of the way, I love it. Binihe isn't in the water like the Lady of the Lake. She's working at the edge of it. And that's significant because rivers, fords, and streams were considered liminal spaces in Celtic belief. These are places where the human world and the spirit world overlapped. So water wasn't just a setting, it was a boundary between the worlds. And Binihe lives on that boundary, washing away the last traces of life before someone crosses from one world into the next. So to conclude this, all of our ladies of the lake, whether she's handing a king a magical sword, luring sailors beneath the waves, washing the clothes of the soon-to-be dead, or weeping along a riverbank, the lady in the water shows up in almost every corner of the world. She changes names, cultures, and centuries, but she always seems to guard the same thing, the unknown. Water has always been where life begins, where worlds meet, and where mysteries live. Maybe that's why our ancestors imagined powerful women standing at its edge, not as damsels in distress waiting to be rescued, but as guardians of wisdom, transformation, life, death, and magic itself.
Woo! Woo!
Get it? So the next time you find yourself staring into a still lake or listening to a river in the woods, remember, folklore would tell you to be respectful. You never know who or what might be staring back at you.
Chee!
I feel like I should say, I'm Erin Mankey, and this has been Lore.
You never know. The sound of crickets. You never know what might just happen.
Boom.
Bop. Damn.
Isn't it great?
That was a beautiful conclusion. You did a great job.
Thank you. And speaking of doing a good job, and our favorite people of the lake, we have Marcel Pérez, our creative producer, Mallory Jordan, our creative director, and Kevin MacLeod, whose music is in the intro and the outro of each episode. He is our man of the lake.
He is. Marcel's driving the pontoon boat.
Yes.
Mallory, she stocked the keg.
Yes, thankfully. She's got a drink.
Yes. And our listeners are the little fishies that we're tossing little crumbs to.
Oh.
I don't know what you feed fish.
Crumbs, right?
I don't know.
Worms? Not worms.
Worms.
Maybe worms.
And to prove to you that you would still love me if I were a worm, you can go to Apple Podcast and leave us a review for 5 stars. It doesn't have to be Apple Podcasts. You go to Spotify. You can go wherever you're getting podcasts these days. We're on all of them. Amazon. Give us 5 stars. It really helps. Please write something. It really means a lot to me. And as Alicia hop into our spooky season, again, we don't advertise anywhere. This is like kind of an underground, like kind of cool, like kind of like behind the scenes.
We're your
situation.
cool podcast.
Yes. Like if you have ever had, you have this like kind of like magical nugget, which is your listenership to Witches. And like, what a gift to give to other people in the spooky season.
Absolutely. I love it. And if you want to find me, Alicia, I'm on Instagram at Alicia.Herder. And if you want to find Terra,
I'm Terra. That's me. This is my voice. You can find me at Her Lovely Face.
And our creative producer, Marcel, is also on Instagram at Hey Marcel Perez. And the podcast itself is on Instagram at Witchy. We'd love to see you there. And if you're just craving some more witchy community, some people who think like you, who want to decorate for Halloween early, you should consider joining our Discord server. It's completely free. Tara and I are barely in it, but it's full of a community of witches who talk about all the good shit that I'm sure you're into if you're listening to this episode. And if you want to contact us, but you don't like the socials, you can always contact us via email at witchespodcast@gmail.com.
And baby witches, if you are getting in that spooky, creepy guy frame of mind, if you like wet ladies, give me a wet fiver and I'll give you access to hours and hours and hours and hours and days even of content, which is Alicia and I's Patreon. $5 Patreon witches get access to 2 extra episodes a month. When Alicia and I go on our holiday break, we do not give a break to the Patreon. And it just puts you in the mood.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's some really creepy shit on there. There's some really silly stuff on there. There's like, was there a bar in Manhattan that banned Aries? What an insane thing to do.
It's crazy.
And I guess that means this has been
Witch, yes.
Bye.
Bye. Happy Summerween once again. Forever.
Forever.